Hey Kelly, this tent is absolutely insane. This tent right here, let's have a proper look, shall we?
So why do we say that this tent is insane? I mean, it really truly is the best tent on the market, especially if you're living this way, let's just say. And your wild campers, I don't know why everyone hasn't got one. So we're going to look into why we're so impressed with this tent. Because mostly we go north for winter. So this is one of our first times staying south in a long time. And we've had to adapt with the heat. So let's show you how we've managed to do that with this beauty of a tent.
Let me start by destroying our tent. Nah, we're not going to destroy our tent, but look at this. Oh, it didn't come down. Now I've got no poles whatsoever. Trekking pole out. That's the wonderful thing about this tent, is you can put it up anywhere, absolutely anywhere. You don't even need the sticks. It's completely poleless. What else could you moan about? It's completely poleless. So if you're out in the woods, much like hammock campers, this tent can be put up almost the same way as a hammock, right? But it has more features and better features than most other tent on the planet.
So with the simple unhitching, because you've got a little connection down here that we just pop off. And there's one on the other side, which I'll just quickly do. Ooh.
Look at that butt.
And then there's another little hitch just on the center panel here. So we just unclip that as well. Now this does clip off on here too. So what we do, I'm not going to take the whole thing off right now because I need the shade. I'm going to be drawing in a little bit. But basically what we do is we unhook this, we turn this upside down and poke the end of it through here, because we've got the mud guards on the bottom of our trekking poles. So the mud guard helps hold it there, so it does kind of go past it. Either that, or get rid of the pole altogether, attach the string to the hook to the tree, freestanding. So you may notice, as we've taken the centre anchor off to take the top off, we've now got a bit of a sag. But that's all right, it's easily rectified, because again, you just use your hook. So whatever you've attached to the outer, you just attach to this. Ta-da!
So whilst a lot of you might be suffering out in this heat right now, because for this sort of mesh to be up on your tent, you need to have the poles over it and curving them. I mean, let's put it down to basics. This tent is actually at the moment 115 quid. I mean, we bought it for 169, and even that was price dropped down to 159 when we actually ordered it, if you remember back in January when dog destroyed our tent, right? So because it requires no poles, you've got no rigidity, and you can just literally string it up anywhere you like. It's fantastic. The only thing is when you've got the cover off at night time and you open your eyes, it is like being in a hammock unless you've got a tarp. But you open your eyes and you go, oh shit, I'm slept outside on the ground somewhere. You know, you kind of like have a bit of a shock factor to start with, but it's so breezy, it's so nice. I mean, this in itself, the netting has a UV protection of sorts, but when you're out here, you don't really need it. As long as you tuck yourself away, keep yourself cool. I mean, dog, he absolutely loves to watch the sky, especially when the owls come in at night time and things like that. He's looking up and he just lays back, looking at the sky, looking at the trees, looking at nature. I mean, in the mornings we see the woodpeckers come in. We hear the tawny owls at night time, although the babies are growing up now, so they're not as bloody annoying. But it is absolutely fantastic. And if you can get your hands on one of these tents, do it. I kid you not, this is not even an affiliate link or anything. It's our own tent. We have bought this ourselves. Buy one. I shit you not, buy one because you will never look back. I mean, the standard, I was just looking for my pole then. Thing is with the poles, if you're camping in the woods and you're getting nice and deep, as you see, there's lots and lots of holly around. Holly, there's tons of it. Holly, it grows well. So even if you're taking a length of 120 centimeters, thereabouts, you're going to be fantastic. Blimmin' sky speakers again. But if you haven't got a pole, I mean, you can get one-man versions of these. You can get one-man versions of these. Tara's son's got one, and he absolutely loves it. Sometimes, if you don't want to bring a trekking pole, yeah, holly sapling, something like that. So when you've got it bunged up inside the actual grommet inside there, the zip comes all the way around and does all the way up. But not only is it good for keeping cool, it's absolutely fantastic for wildlife watching. I sit there with my binoculars. Gets a little bit fuzzy, but I sit there with my binoculars. I can look out, and just with the natural eye, just with the eye, you can see everything, you can hear everything. And obviously with that, if you're trying to be stealth, make sure you keep your volume lower, because that little bit of 15D nylon actually traps sound. So you've got to be a bit more vigilant at night time, especially if you're in an area that you might not necessarily meant to be, right? Up to you, do what you want, get busted or not. I mean, so for the tarp camper, I mean, it's 5,000 hydrostatic head. So for the tarp camper, you can actually just buy the outside of this tent. You don't need the inner. So you're basically in a tent, but a tarp tent, right? Saves getting a DD tarp, although a DD tarp's cheaper if you know how to configure it, fantastic. But you can also buy the inners separately. And yeah, you've probably noticed the big white bit on the bottom, right? Not a problem. It's low. I mean, comes to the height of my knee. Not very often a landowner, Forestry England, the water board, whoever is going to be looking down at the floor. They're going to be scanning across the woodlands. So I wouldn't worry too much about the white. And if you are, get a bit of dirt, rub into it, make it nice and brown, or put it in your washing machine. I'm sure you can dye these things, right? I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure if you've got a lot of salt and some decent dye, you could probably dye it black, brown, green, whatever you like. Although tents are a big issue, right? You must have this one, you must have that one, you got to have this one. So things like MSR, Hilleberg, that are selling their tents for an absolute bomb, an absolute premium. And I get it. Those are for extreme temperatures. They're for mountains. They're for snow. They've got a 30 to 40 to 70D nylon. It's specifically designed for that hard rigidity for winter. And although these are classified as summer tents or two-season tents, that's cool. We do winter in them. What, we've done winter in them. Since we've got this design of tent, we've done 5, 6 winters with this tent, with this style of tent design. And as you know, we've had the One Tigress, we've had the Landshans, we've had the Nightcats, which this version is. It's the Nightcat 2-person tent. Nightcat, you got it right, and it's not even a sponsor, and that's the great thing about it. Because we put our own hand in our own pocket, we get this style of tent, because in the summer, take it off, breathe. Why pay 1,200 quid for an MSR or a Hilleberg or whatever they're called when they're kind of made of the same stuff, right? And this has survived 70-mile-an-hour winds. It survived 80-mile-an-hour winds. It survived 90-mile-an-hour winds, and the only reason that it didn't survive the 95-mile-an-hour wind, I already had a tear in the top of here on my door. So when Tara was peeping through the hole, the wraparound of the wind just ripped through the already ripped hole. But we have been on a client's land, on a homestead, in the middle of a field, being absolutely battered. I mean, the tent stayed. The tent was absolutely fine. but we had to have tent pegs like that long just to bung them in the ground because the tent was taking all that flack and it was just ripping out. Little tent pegs like that, you know. So yeah, we had to put big tent pegs in the ground. I can't find a fault with it. The bottom's completely waterproof. We had them on the mountains in Wales. We had it in Scotland. I can't fault it. You know, like, oh, this tent, that tent, this tent, that tent. I honestly can't fault it for what it is whatsoever. It's an absolutely fantastic piece of kit and it's cheap. I can buy 10 of these compared to an MSR or something like that. 10 of these. If one lasts you a year, that's 10 years, not 2 years with a £1,200 tent, another 2 years with a £1,200 tent. And those £12,000 tents are nowhere near as versatile as this. They're not. You have to put the poles up and then put the outer on, and no thanks. I'll stick with cheap and cheerful. And cheap and cheerful, yeah, there is a fine line. If you want to buy one of those stupid pop-up tents that everyone uses at Glastonbury, yeah, that's why they're one-time use. They're 20 quid off of Amazon sort of thing. But when you spend 5 times as much as that for still cheap, you can get a really bloody good deal. We live in it 24/7. We move with it 24/7. Sometimes when we're on the move, it's pop up, pop down, pop up, pop down, pop up, pop every single day. You know, so that longevity. I mean, there's 52 weeks in a year. That's 52 weekends. There's 104 days that a typical wild camper would pop up, pop down 104 times. We do that in 3 months. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer. Spend cheap but wisely. If you're gonna get it, get the Nightcat 2-person tent. You will be laughing. Or I think it's the Lanshan 1, the one-man version. I think Nightcat do a one-man version of this. Just get it. If you're solo, you're on your own, you want a lightweight backpack. I'd like to pause the video here to give thanks to all of you lot. You guys are absolutely amazing. You've kept us going, especially in the heat. It has been really, really grateful. Can't thank you enough.
Yeah, we're always grateful for a cold beer. We'll always give our thanks for that. But don't worry, we don't ask for a penny. We're okay. If you want to give us some generosity, then I mean, who looks a gift horse in the mouth? So we'll always give thanks. Thank you again. Let's get back into it, shall we?
I'm going to do a video on our kit very soon because some of you don't believe that we can fit all this kit into our packs. As some of you may know, the tent goes in this bottom strip. Now, let me grab a standard lighter. The tent goes in that bottom strip. Now, you might see online that this is a 1.5 kilo tent. I beg to differ. I think it's about a kilo max. That's what I think. Because we've had other tents at a similar weights. This is like nothing. It's absolutely fantastic.
So now we've done all of the positives. I'm going to be straight with you. There are 2 negatives, which again, I'll get to why it's really not much of a problem. But one of my first negatives were when you've got the tent up, you've normally got like a plumb line on the inside of the tent or something like a hook that you're going to hang your torch on. Now, it's really not too much of a drama for us because we don't tend to use a torch at night for pretty much anything, just because it is, well, if you want to stay undetected, don't use a torch at night. But for the times that we do really need a torch, I did notice that it can just hook on the netting. So we just pinch the top of the netting and hook it onto the netting because we've got a little clip on it, so that works out fine. So again, not really a complaint. The next thing I thought was a little bit of an issue was with the Lanshan, when you get to these bottom corners of the bathtub here, on the Lanshan, they've got like a bit of a hard bone there, so it helps keep this upright and straight. Now, of course, once you've taken the outer off, there's nothing to keep this bathtub upright and straight. So the best you can do is either let it droop, or you can do that, which will pinch it a little bit, but at least it keeps it up a bit. And also, the other thing that I think is, it's not, once you've taken the top off, you're clearly not expecting any rain. Otherwise, you wouldn't be taking the top off, right? So does it matter that this flexes a little? I mean, it doesn't really matter at all, does it? So again, my only two issues with the tent resolved just in that one little moment. So I really can't give it any minuses at all. I've got nothing negative to say about it, which is strange because it took some real convincing on Mod's part years ago to give up our usual pole tents to take on this. I think it was because you get used to what you know, and I was a bit worried because this is typically a summer tent. I was a bit worried that it wouldn't be warm enough in the winter. Well, it turns out it's brilliant in the winter. In fact, it's better in the winter than the other pole tents that we had because it is so aerated. You get the airflow all the time. So we don't get things like mold. We don't get things like condensation. And if we do, all we do is raise the top outer off the floor further. So when you're putting it up, you can pin it to the floor if you really want, and then you squash your bathtub a bit, or you can leave a good gap. And that good gap creates that airflow, the circulation, which will stop you getting so condensated, and condensation brings on mold. No one wants that. So yeah, since going this way, I'm never looking back. I've said to Mod, I hope that they keep this in circulation, this designer tent forever, because if this suddenly goes off market, this kind of design, well, I think we're just going to have to tarp it, aren't we, babe?
Yep. So as Tara was saying about the winter tents, now winter tents, typically 4-season tents, have snow flaps, and they have a snow flap that will come this far out, right? With this tent, because you can adjust your pole size up and down, what that does is it pushes the tent, or can push the tent, to the floor. So if it is super cold and you're not getting condensation, if it was a dry cold as opposed to a humid cold, here in the UK we have humid cold. So it's best not to have those snow flaps or winter tents at all. They're not needed unless you're going on an expedition to Scotland or Wales during the winter. They're really not needed. However, this can be customized, it can be modified and put down to the floor. And then with that, all you do is all this sort of stuff, is you just pile over it just to keep that warmth in around you and things like that. Let's hope I don't get ticks all in my hands today, eh? But yeah, it is just one of those absolute modular sort of tents. I mean, I call them modular because you can mod them any way you want. You can have this part up, that part down, that part up, that part down. Good thing is if you are a tarp camper and things like that, survivalist, bushcrafter, you want to get outdoors and do that with this sort of tent, what you can do is once it's all unclipped, use this as your tarp. Then you ain't got to take a tarp. You can still live free, seeing the sky, everything else. From the netting, if you are prone to getting bitten or ticks or mozzies, anything like that, that just annoy the shit out of you. But you could use this as your tarp, use your inner as your mesh. What are you moaning about? It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, you might get a little bit of sag here and there, but as long as you taut it out enough, make sure that tension's good, make sure it's, right, so you don't have all this movement, you'll be laughing. No brainer, really.
So, challenge for you. If you can find a fault with this design of tent, leave a comment below because we would love to know what that fault is.
Yeah.
We find it, like we say, the best tent, really.
Yeah, it's absolutely banging. I can't find any faults with it. You know what I'm like.
Oh, I just thought of another good thing. Sorry, last moment. The colour.
The colour.
The colour really disappears. I mean, you only need to go behind a holly bush and have a look. You can't see it. It just blends right in.
Yeah. Whilst Tara's going on about colour, brown is best because if you look at the rest of the woodland around, it's brown and green. Right? So brown and green. I mean, if you've got a Mac like this digital print of these Macs, like the American Armed Forces and all that lot, it didn't do too well. Yeah, no, just it's not good. There are camouflage tents out there and they're absolutely fantastic. Nightcat actually do the hammock tent, which is camouflage. Shame we ain't got one. But I've got this green t-shirt. This green t-shirt is going to be a block of green in that woodland. If I'm wearing a black t-shirt, it's going to be a black block in that woodland, and you will notice. I mean, let's see if we can look through the trees. There's a tree there that's quite a dark brown. You see it just there? I'll point out in the video. So with that is if you've got big block colors that don't blend into your surroundings, so black, red, let me go into a bit of science with red. The further you get away from red, it loses its color quicker. So what it will do is it will turn gray. At night time, the human eye, it will lose red before any other color. So with that, it's just going to be a grey outline or something, essentially, because our pupils see in colour. Our outer rings of our eyes see in black and white. That's why you never look directly at a subject. If you're trying to look for something, always look to the side and it will catch your eye. Big, bold colours, don't go for. Greens, blues, reds. Blacks can be a big issue because it is, again, that big block colour. And they typically have a little bit more shine to them, especially because they're using thicker, more durable material. It gives that shine. Also, black tents summer, yeah, not good. I mean, even green tents when I've been in the summer, still not good. It's just, I don't know if it's something that they make it out of or it's just the colour. I don't know. Just look how well that does blend into the floor. Just the flooring alone. So even if someone was looking down from above, and that's my issue. If someone is looking down from above, you're going to be on a forest floor of brown. Otherwise, the helicopter's going to come over and go, oh, there's a big green patch down there. Is that grass? No, it's a tent. It's not grass. There's a big red patch down there. Is that where someone's blown up? Or, no, it's a tent. Oh, look, there's a big black patch down there. Is that a swamp or a pond? No, it's a tent. Look, it's a little bit shiny. A bit of brown. And if you really want to blend in, what you can do is start to camo up your tent just so it looks a little bit more natural. And all these pinch points, you can shove things in if you really want to stay covert and hidden away, undetected, right? But do be warned, when it rains, you want to take this stuff off. Why? It makes it real heavy and your tent will start to close in on you. Not only that, is that wet transfer. You only need something pressing on here before it starts to seep through eventually. Doesn't matter how waterproof it is, it will come through eventually. And that's why when it rains, you use your tarp if need be, if you're trying to stay completely undetected. Just put your tarp up, keep it low profile. Job's a good one. If you like this video, please give us the good old thumbs up and share it around and all that stuff. And until next time, mate, happy hopping.